I'm Scott Todnam, and this is the Classroom Connection video of the week. This week was Suicide Prevention Week, with Monday being World Suicide Prevention Day. That's timely because we've been in a mental health awareness focus in 7th grade, including some activities to develop compassion and empathy, all while analyzing influences on health. In just a minute, I'll have 4 7th grade volunteers come in, and they're going to talk about a major activity from this last week, as well as how they manage their own stress. Stay tuned. Hello, here we are. I'm here with 4 7th graders, and we're going to talk through the last week, and then going into this next week as well, of 7th grade health. This past week is Suicide Prevention Week. We've also been looking at mental health with a whole lot of topics that surround analyzing influences, and we're going to lead into some advocacy too. So I've got some questions for these guys, and we're going to start with what activity from last week helped, and can you talk us through some mental health awareness?
You know what was fun last week? We did a list for the phobias. He made a list of these phobias alphabetically. At the beginning of that, Mr. Tottenham told us to find the one that we thought he put in that was fake. It's his wording. He didn't put in any fake ones.
Yeah, so he made an entire list, page 1, 2, 3, and 4. They were lettered, A through Z. But all of them were completely real, but we didn't know that we were doing it. So that'd bring out our personalities and how we would react to these.
Show that people have different personalities.
Yeah, and actually one of the funniest ones is the really long lettered one that was fear of long words, like it was like 26 letters or something. It's just a phobia, and almost anything can be a phobia. Knees, being afraid of knees.
Or being afraid of gravity, since we live with gravity all around us.
So what did that help you realize?
We don't even notice how bad people's lives can be around that stuff. We think it's so funny and weird, but there's people that will freak out about it, and it's just sad for them, and they can't. It makes their day super hard.
They will just see us doing their phobia, we'll just be doing it normally, but they're inside they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, how can they do that? Don't they see how scary that is?
Yeah, or having peanut butter stuck to the roof of their mouth, and if that person, likes peanut butter, then that would just be an everyday sort of terror that they would, get that and be absolutely mortified. Something really sad to think about.
Mm-hmm. List for me some influences that cause us to behave like that. For instance, we have some major influences on life: family, friends, knowledge, info, choices, maybe our environment. Does that play into how we treat somebody that may be a little bit different? So talk us through some of that stuff.
Most of it is from how other people are. Like him, for example, how his hair used to be green, and everyone was like, oh, that's pretty cool, but that's just out of the normal, so people were a little bit weirded out by it when he came to school.
Oh yeah, actually one time, the first day I dyed my hair, a girl that came up to me and said, I saw my green hair and said, you look like an Oompa Loompa.
Yeah, it's hard with mental thing, because you can judge when you see it, but with mental you can't see it, so you can't tell if it's happening. Depression, maybe, say they cut themselves, for example, maybe you could see that, but you couldn't see if someone was internally depressed and couldn't handle anything, and they didn't want attention or anything. You just have to try and notice it the best you can. And sometimes they'll even hide the cuts.
Yeah, and going back to my hair, some people really want and are very passionate about dyeing their hair or doing kind of weird stuff to their face or hair or whatever, and you get a lot of unwanted attention to that. And some people will absolutely hate it and not want to do it anymore, and that's bad because
That's
they
why
really
some
want to
of
pursue
your
it.
bands dyeing your hair.
Yeah.
Sometimes they ban it because they don't some people won't exactly like that too much.
Mm-hmm. So we've got all these influences on us. Maybe what I'm hearing the most is that there's a peer influence, that people in school can have an impact on us. But also maybe the media or society too, what we see in terms of trends. And I think what's trending is that mental health is getting a little bit more publicity, in a positive way. So as we look at mental health activities, let's talk about some stress relief activities that you use that are really positive. So what works for you in terms of essential brain activities that you really enjoy?
Downtime? Yeah, because sometimes I personally like listening to music, calms me down, or playing games, because that's what I normally do in my free time.
Being competitive is something of my nature. I'd like to win in that sort of direction in video games, because it gives you a sense of pride and I did this. And once you reach a certain amount of wins in a certain game, your level goes up and you get to a different tier, and that is a sense of completion, and really helps.
The one where you would talk to people, what's the social one?
Yeah, so I'm hearing so far downtime and challenge time, as well as social time.
If I'm going through something and my man right here needs to help me through it, I'm willing to have social time more than, say, downtime.
Mm-hmm.
I think another really big one is time inward. Though most people don't do it, it really does help if you just like go in like a quiet room and just sit down and think about like your dreams, because then that'll, or like what you want to
Contemplate.
accomplish, because then that'll bring you into like challenge time maybe, and then try and get you to accomplish those dreams, and you keep on thinking about them. It helps you.
How is a typical 7th grader with sleep? Is that something that they struggle with or not?
Yeah, well, I'm not typical
Sometimes
seventh
waking up in
grader.
the morning.
I
Like,
was
I'm
just
just
gonna
laying
stay
in
down.
bed, and my mom will say, get up. I'm just laying down in bed like, give me like 1 minute, and I'm just counting in my head.
Mhm.
Like 30 seconds for one hurt, then it goes 30 seconds for one hurt, and then I'm like, okay, I should probably get up now.
Well, for me at least, from summer, my sleep schedule is still messed up because I've just been like flowing through it. So I usually go up at like 10:30 maybe and just lay out on my bed for a little bit and just have some time indoors for like 5 to 10 minutes maybe, and then I take out my phone and start watching videos or like look at Instagram. And by the time I'm bored, I look at the time and it's like 1:30. And I get scared that my mom's gonna yell at me, so then I just close my
Yeah,
eyes.
I'm usually a night owl, so usually 12 is when I go to sleep or start trying to go to sleep. So I just hit my bed at maybe 10, do random stuff on my phone for like an hour or something, and then just be like, it's like 11:32. I don't go to sleep, whatever.
Do you think the devices in the bedroom are a distraction? Could
Oh,
you
they're
get
very
rid of that?
distracting.
Yeah,
Yeah, I couldn't
sometimes.
sleep without them.
That's for me.
Sometimes people, like, it relaxes them and makes them helps them sleep sometimes.
I swear I fall asleep and I wake up an hour later, I look at the time, and then I fall back asleep, and then I wake up at the next hour, and it's like really, it's an issue. And I
Interrupted
wake up
sleep.
very, very tired.
Do you think there's an issue with too much screen time for a middle school student?
Yeah, I probably played,
Yeah, a little bit.
I probably looked at my screen for like 12 hours yesterday.
So you might be surprised to know that a healthy amount of screen time
2 hours
is less than 2 hours a day.
or less.
An hour?
Yeah. Okay, that's it for this week. Thank you to my 4 7th grade volunteers for talking through mental health awareness and stress management. Until next time, thanks for tuning in.
3,
Bye-bye.
2,
Bye-bye.
1. Yeah, bye.
Damn!
How can you make 8 o'clock? You have to go to school.
Exactly.
Hey guys, and I'm
Ours
here.
is the exact opposite.
Hey guys, I'm here.
That's what I say every day.
Yeah, but
Hey
not
guys, I'm
until-
here.
You know what,
Yeah.
let's go viral, Mr. Tom.
I just wanted to say,
I'm going to make it awkward.
Hey guys,
Yeah, I'm
my sick dad.
That's it.
For days.
So I get it that 7th graders like school.
Boom, 8:30. Let's go. Prime time. Let's wake up. Let's go.
Interrupt.
Boom, right on the clock.